And I'm back with another fun-filled video for you. A while back, I did a video on these knives here. These are like made by Samoa knives. I'm sure you guys have seen these. They're like really thin, sort of like gentlemanly folders. I thought they were pretty cool, but they were, they kind of like left me a little unsatisfied. These are supposed to be like gentlemanly folders. Here's the other one I got. Same one. This one's in titanium black, black wash. And this one's in marble carbon fiber with the blue accents. I thought these were pretty cool. Completely open construction design. These are made by Samoa Knives, and they go for about $70. And they're not bad, but they're kind of like a little cheap. So they go about $60, $70, and they're basically considered office knives. And one day I was kind of like, looking around on the internet for similar knives like this, but maybe a little bit more upgraded. And lo and behold, I came across a knife company that was holding a sale on their versions of these knives. Now, the versions of knives I'm going to show you are a much more upgraded version of what you're looking at here. Not that these are bad. They're pretty good, but, if you're going to have a gentlemanly folder put in your pocket, you might as well go all the way with it. So I went to a website called Chicago Knife Works, and they had some similar folders with the same exact aesthetic, very thin, very slim folder, and I thought that was a pretty cool idea. So I went on the website Chicago Knife Works, and they were holding a sale. This was like 8 months ago on the knives that I got in this case. I got the case separate, by the way. But these knives were on sale. They were like 60, 70% off for whatever reason on Chicago Knife Works. Because these knives, they're like usually like right around like anywhere between like $220 to $259, depending on the one that you get. And they're the same exact type of knife like this, where it's sort of slim, thin, that kind of deal. And so I just wanted to show these to you and go over them. So this is sort of like an upgraded version. I got 3 different ones because they were like so freaking cheap at the time, right? I couldn't believe how cheap these guys were. Because these are like normally, like I said, they're normally like $229 to like $259, anywhere in that range, depending on the one that you get. And they were holding like a 60% sale on these. So let me go ahead and bring these out. So these are made by Ocaso knives, and these are probably, really what you're looking for in a slim folder. These are pretty cool. They are really slim, really thin, made with much more upgraded materials than what we have here with Samoa Knives. It's kind of like they took Samoa Knives' game and decided to up it and make it into like a real knife. So let me just take a look at these here. To the gamer, unfortunately, I don't have enough subscribers to give anything away. So at this point in time, I'm pretty much starting all over from scratch. But in any case, and hello to the gamer. Thanks for joining me. Not like there's a ton of you guys, right? Anyway, so these knives are made by Ocaso Knives. They're from Italy. They're an Italian knife company. The action on these are amazing. This one's in titanium gray. Perfectly well centered. Nice deep pocket clip on this one. This one you could actually put these like in your shirt pocket. So these are like the ultimate office knife. If you like work in an office and you're looking for something to carry in your pocket, and of course if your office doesn't mind that you carry a knife in your pocket. Human resources in a lot of office environments will not allow you to carry a knife in the office, which is the case where I work. They don't allow me to carry a knife either. So it kind of sucks. But I mean, I still carry one. I just don't take it out of my pocket, and they don't see it. So anyway, this one's made out of titanium gray version. This is a little bit heavy, much more. You're getting much more out of this particular knife here than this one, which is quite light and not as substantial. I mean, they're basically, they've got the same profile, but they're not as substantial in your hand as this. It's almost like they just basically, like I said, they've taken the Samour knives concept and they've upgraded it to like a real office knife carry type knife. Because if you look at this looks more like a letter opener, and this looks like something that could seriously you could seriously cut with if you wanted to. Yeah, so let's take a look at the rest of the other two that I have here in the box. So this one is the titanium gray one. I'll do the carbon fiber one. I'll do the one in the middle last. This one's in carbon fiber. Yeah. Look how smooth that is. That's insane for such a thin, slim knife. Same deep pocket carry, but this one's in carbon fiber. These are really kind of cool to have in your pocket. You could have this kind of like in your shirt pocket if you wanted to like use it like carry it in your shirt pocket like a pen. Very, very nice, really sweet. And I saw these, and these guys were like really, really dirt cheap on sale at Chicago Knife Works. And I said, you know what, I'm just going to get all three of them. And I actually got all three of these knives at that time for the price of the one that's in the box. Now, this knife normally goes for about $259. That's what I got for all three of these knives, like $259, $260. And I thought, damn, for three knives for $260, I can't beat that. This is the blue one, blue carbon fiber and Damascus. It's got a blue frame, blue all over, deep pocket clip again. Really nice backspacer. Very well done. So, anyway, let me take the kit. This is the case that they don't come in. You actually have to buy the case separate. So I bought the case too. This is for the three knives. They also have one that's like four knives, but I didn't want to get a fourth knife. I figured three was enough. So, yeah. So I mean, these three knives, man, they're pretty awesome for an office knife. I don't know of any other knife company that has paid so much attention to this particular realm of knives where they're slim and thin and can be carried in your shirt pocket type of knife. These are the only guys I know, other than Samour Knives, who came out with it, but they just didn't, they didn't go all the way. Ocaso Knives went all the way, and that's what I liked about it. So let's go ahead and do some size comparisons on these, and then we'll do the specs real quick. I'm going to go ahead and use the Damascus one. This one's really beautiful. So let's go ahead and put this here, give you guys a little idea. So here it is up against the ZT 0562. As you can see, I know it's at an angle, but I'm going to hold it upright so you can guys see the size comparison a little bit better. As you can see, they're the same exact size. Lengthwise, they're both 3.5 inches. And see, yeah. Well, actually, this one might be slightly larger, but as far as if we went with like pivot to pivot, Yeah, both knives are 3.5 inches. It's just that on the ZT, the handle is much larger. Um, let's put it up against the paramilitary 2. That's another one you guys know. It's the only way I can do the size comparisons because I'm holding it up at an angle. But yeah, you can see that it is, again, the handle is much larger on the paramilitary 2. But if we were to do pivot to pivot, how do I pivot to pivot? Yeah, there you go. Pivot to pivot. Yeah, the blade sizes are roughly the same. So yeah, and then we could do it up against, say, the new one I just got yesterday. You guys saw the video on that knife. That's this, the We Knives Coral. So it's actually lengthwise, it's larger than the We Knives Coral. And then we can also put it up against the Spyderco Sage. There it is up against the Sage. If I were to hold them both upright, you can see it's much larger. So yeah, there you go there. And then to end the size comparisons, let's go ahead and put it up against the Spyderco Techno, which is an even smaller knife. There you go. Yeah, see how much smaller it is than the Techno. And then for a final size comparison, we like to do small, medium, and large. So lengthwise, it falls into the large category of knives at 3.5. This is roughly 3.2. And then we have the 2.95 blade length on the Spyderco Techno. So, it's not too often that you see knives that are, slim and thin like this, but still are just as substantial in your hand as, say, like a paramilitary 2, like a regular size knife. Because this here, while I like it quite a bit, I mean, I could see this knife like sitting at my desk, like just to be used as a letter opener, whereas this would be used more like an actual knife where you can actually cut open a box with this thing and not have to worry about it breaking or anything. Because if you actually held this one in your hand, it's pretty good. But I mean, you can tell just by how thin the knife is. And this is an M390 blade, by the way. And it feels like it's not as strong or as substantial as the Ocaso knife, which is one of the reasons why I got it, because I really like the concept of a slim, thin knife to carry around in my pocket while I'm at work. But I didn't think that Samoir Knives' version of a knife was enough for me. So let's just shout out the specs real quick so you guys can get an idea of what the specs are for this knife. Let me just do the technical specs. I'm actually doing it straight off of the website. So the weight of this knife is 1.7 ounces. It's a very lightweight knife. That's for the carbon fiber version, which is what this knife is here. The steel on this knife is Damascus. Normally, with the other two knives, the titanium one, it says 35VN steel. This one's Damascus. You've got a straight blade on this one here, pretty much in Damascus. I think the blue on this is really pretty vibrant looking, and the Damascus is nice too. I do like that. It's definitely a classy carry for that one. It's a liner lock knife. It runs on ceramic. Actually, it doesn't run on. It runs on steel caged ball bearings, which is fine. We've had knives that run on steel ball bearings for years before they even discovered that ceramic was better. The designer of the knife, his name's Andrew Demko. He's from Pennsylvania, and the knife is made in Taiwan. The company that puts these knives out, however, is Italian, Ocaso Knives. That's the name of the company, Ocaso. You can see it right there on the pocket clip. So the knife's made in Taiwan, right? But the company that puts out these knives is Italian, Ocaso Knives. Um, So yeah, I mean, if you're like looking for a slim, everyday carry knife, this is definitely, or these are definitely knives you may want to consider. Obviously, the Damascus one is much more than the regular titanium version of the knife. Uh, but yet no less substantial as far as what you're carrying. Definitely a lot heavier the titanium than it is the carbon than the carbon fiber versions. This is the other carbon fiber version one that I got. So yeah, I mean these are really cool. I think these are really nice looking knives. And if you work in an office and you're looking for a knife to carry and use that's fairly substantial, maybe you're going to be opening up a few boxes in the office. This is a good knife to use. Definitely not a heavy duty use of a knife, um, but definitely something you can have in your pocket just to have for the day. Definitely a wear it with a suit type knife. So if you wanted to go out, for a knife, for a night on the town, and you wanted to carry something, this is pretty classy. Even the carbon fiber and even the titanium one, they're all the same. It just depends on, what flavor you want to carry. I carry all three of these at any time, depending on how I feel, and that's why I got three of them. Like I said, the case does not come with it. You have to buy the case. But it's pretty cool. The case is also pretty cool. They give you it. You put your knife in all the three slots. There's a little strap in there to keep it rattling around. But, since it's just in my house, I just put them in the box in each of the slots there and don't even worry about it. The case itself closes with a magnetic latch, basically, which is kind of cool. And it's a really nice, handsome case. Really very, very classy. I really like it. You don't have to buy all three of these. I think just one of them would be fine. But like I said, me being a knife addict, I got three of them because the sale was absolutely ridiculous that day. I don't know why Chicago Knife Works had them so cheap that day, but they were cheap because I was looking on the website and they didn't have any real reason as to why they were selling them for 70% off. I was like, wow, that's nuts. What are they doing? Getting rid of their old stock or something? There was no explanation. I just plunked down went online and did my debit card and said, screw that, man. I hit the jackpot with these three and thought, it's fantastic. And if you go to Ocaso Knives, you'll see that the price of the knives, or each of these three knives, are all over $200. In fact, this one goes for about $259 on Ocaso Knives website, and it's now right around $239 on Chicago Knife Works. So you get a little bit of a discount there. This one is like right around 250, like 239 on the Ocaso website itself, 229 on Chicago Knife Works, and then this one is the same price, 229 on Chicago Knife Works, 239 on Ocaso Knives website. If you're looking to get one of these, fairly cheap, with the other Damascus one being the most expensive, obviously, because you're getting a really fancy looking one with the blue carbon fiber. It also comes in bronze carbon fiber, it comes in red carbon fiber, and I believe it also comes in orange carbon fiber, and all with the Damascus blade on there, and the Damascus blade. I know it's kind of hard to see it in the light. If I hold it at an angle, you can see it. It's really pretty, really very nice. So yeah. So Ocaso knives, thin gentlemanly carry knife. Definitely something you may want to consider. I like them. I think they're awesome. Like I said, one of these would be pretty cool to have in your collection. Kind of sorry that a lot of you guys weren't able to take advantage of that 70% off, man. I was just, I was just like dicking around online and I saw this and I was like, holy shit, I gotta get them. So I just got them, and that was like 8 months ago, and they hadn't had a sale like that since. In fact, I've never seen a sale like that on any website for knives. It was just insane. I'm surprised they had all three of these in stock. It was like everybody like missed that sale, and I was the only one that saw it, and it overmet my expectations. So anyway, Ocaso knives, check them out. They also have other folders that are not this thin. They've got like regular size knives, but they're all quite small. In fact, if you've heard of Samour knives, you can check them out too. I think that Ocaso knives is really the upgraded premium version type company for Samour knives. I mean, in other words, like, if you were to look at this type of a knife, you would see Samour knives would be more like Kershaw, and Ocaso would be more like ZT. So, and that's the way, at least that's the way I look at it. So, Ocaso knives, check them out. This is Omar, your South African knife guy. I just wanted to do this video on these set of knives because I think they're really kind of special. And I'll see you guys in my next video. I don't know what that video is going to be, but it's been a while since I've done videos, and I've got a ton of knives I want to do some videos on until I get my next new knife, which is not going to be for a while. Other than that, thanks so much for watching, and you guys have a great, fantastic morning. I'm off today. The day after 4th of July weekend has ended. Yeah, I took off today. So thanks so much for watching, and you guys have a great, fantastic day.